Are you frustrated that your offense isn't putting up the points you know they can put up? You've got talent, you've installed a solid scheme, but for some reason, drives keep stalling and the scoreboard isn't moving like it needs to. Well, if this sounds like your team, it's not your players and it's probably not even the core group of plays that you actually run. What's holding you back is actually the process and the philosophy behind your play calling and how you are structuring practice that is holding you back. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 critical coaching mistakes you might be making to sabotage your team and your chance of actually winning more games. So let's get into it. One of the biggest mistakes coaches make is actually calling plays that they do not practice at all. It's just something they see cool on TV on Saturday and Sunday. They come into the meetings and they go, you know what? We're going to install that. And that is what's actually hurting you for a couple of reasons. Reason number 1 is players aren't used to actually running that play. You just saw it on Saturday or Sunday. You install it, Monday and Tuesday. You call it maybe 4 or 5 times, and then you call it the first time on Friday night, and all of a sudden your players are confused. Why are they confused? Because they have not actually practiced that play over and over again until they can run it in their sleep. You need to get over 100 reps in practice before you even call it in a game, and you've neglected that, and it shows when your players aren't executing like you know they normally do. When you call that play and you run it and your players mess up, well, now you're giving momentum to the other team, and you are not only helping the other team with their momentum, and momentum is a real thing. You can check this out right here if you don't believe me. But it also hurts your players because when they're out on the field and they're not successful, they're going to start pouting. They're going to start moaning. They're going to start complaining. And that can fester in the game. And if it's on the offense, it could slowly bleed over to the defense, be like, hey, you're not stopping them. And then defense comes back. I don't know how many times this has happened to y'all before, but the defense is like, hey, you need to actually score. And then you have the coaches going against, and it's just a huge problem and cause issues on the sideline and in the coach's office. I don't know if you know this, but the guys on the other sideline, those defensive coaches, they're actually kind of smart, and they're coaching up their players as well. And most of the time when you trot out something new that you just saw on Saturday or Sunday, the defensive players are going to know, hey, this is something we haven't seen before, so alert. And they'll call alerts and they'll talk to one another, and then they will stop you. And that will go into the previous problem where the players are going to be pissed off because they didn't execute. The coaches are going to be pissed off because they didn't execute. They start hating each other and start fussing with each other. And then you have things like this on the sideline where coaches are yelling at coaches or players are yelling at coaches. And we don't want that. So how do you overcome this? Well, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to build a stable practice plan. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you go and you look at your practice plan, and you should have a script. If you don't script your plays in practice, exit out of this video or click this one right here, and I talk about scripting practice. But you need to look at, okay, I called all of these plays in practice. Did I call the same plays in the game? And if you didn't, if you called more plays you haven't practiced, you have a disconnect there, and you need to go back and fix that. And the easiest way to fix it is just call the plays you practice. Simple enough. The second thing is once you're in that practice, you want to run these plays full speed. I have talked to many coaches before, and I've been a part of staffs where it's a half-line situation, or if it's a half-ass situation, you're just doing walkthroughs. No, walkthroughs are great at the end of practice or the beginning of teaching a new skill, but in practice, you want to get as many game-like reps as possible so that when it's the actual game time, your players have already done it. They've repped this over and over again. They can sleepwalk their way through this play because they've been running it full time, and you've structured practice that after you run a group period, then you can go and do a walkthrough of that group period to help reinforce any coaching points you want to, because you have the script, you know exactly what is being called, what the play should look like and everything like that. So you can go back in the individual period time, be like, hey, Johnny, I saw that on inside zone, you put your hand here and it should go here. Let's walk through that so you can get a feel for it. That is when walkthroughs and half line and just not going 100% is beneficial, but don't do that the whole practice. That is a recipe for disaster. And the third thing is inside of that practice period that you're structuring, don't jump to new plays so fast. Make sure they have the core plays down, and then you can add a tag. And tagging is a way to stay within the offense, the identity that you have, but also to punish the defense where they messed up at. And if you need help on what tags to do, I have a whole playlist I'll link down below in the description where how you can come up with what tags to do. Don't get tag happy, because warning, if you get tag happy, you might as well install new plays, because a tag is a new play to a player. Another common issue plaguing coaches that are struggling on offense is they're not calling plays based on the situation or plays that are taking advantage of what the defense is giving up. What do I mean by that? Well, first, let's take what the defense is giving us. A lot of coaches I've talked to, they have this identity saying, hey, we're a run team. So we're going to run no matter what the defense puts in the box or anything like that. Or on the flip side, hey, we are a passing team and we're going to throw 70 to 80 times a game. And I don't give a crap what the defense is doing. And that is wrong, because in the instance of the run team, if you have a heavy box loaded up like a lot of wing T, single wing teams like that do, why not throw the ball? Why not take a shot when that situation or that defensive personnel is in and they're crowding the box? Pop one out there. And on the flip side, if you're a spread team that likes to throw the ball, if they're putting 5 people in the box, why the hell are you not running the ball? They're giving you a light box. Take advantage of it. And then when they start bringing people into the box, you can start throwing again. Then coming back to the situational part, you've got to know what plays you're going to call based on where you are on the field. And a perfect example of that is the air raids philosophy. So I'm going to show you quickly what that is and how you can use that knowledge to modify your offense to take advantage. So right here, we have the entire football field. If you mock me for my drawing, I hope you poop your pants in bed tonight. But what the air raid does so well is they break down the field into different zones, and then they have their offense. This is called the backed up. They have 4 plays. Right here, from -5 to the -20, they have 4 plays as well. Now, these plays in this area is different from these plays right here. And then you have the open area. And what they do is 15 to 20 plays that they can run in this situation. Then they get to the 20 to the 5, and they have 3 to 4 plays. And then they have a gold line set. Now, here's the cool thing about what the air raid does and their philosophy and how maybe you can do the same thing. This area of the field right here, these 4 plays are the same 4 plays right here. So that is a way you can get more for less. And the same concept, these 4 plays from the -5 to the 20 happen to be these 3 to 4 plays in the red zone. So once you do this and you understand the field and what you can call, when you practice these plays, you can still take the same philosophy if you're a single wing or a wing T, and you let your players know, hey, in this area of the field, we're going to call these 4 plays. This area of the field, we got about 20. This area right here, we got about 3 to 4. They will become confident. And when they become confident, great things happen because they know their offense, know what you're going to call. It's one brain, the singularity, and you can do great things, but you have to let your players know where they are at. And when we're in this situation, we're going to call this. When we're here, we're going to call that. That happens in practice, and you really need a script. You need to dive into these details because the little things are actually the big things. And the final mistake that I see a lot of coaches make when they're struggling to score is they're not using packaging plays or RPOs in their offense. And why you want to have those is you never know what the defense is going to do. You could be game planning for a 3-4 and they come out with a 4-2. You could be game planning for zone and they come out straight man. So you want to have some safety nets in your plays to actually help if you call a play and the defense is in something that you know can actually stop that play you called. So how do you do that? Well, one, you've got to know what your offensive identity is. Are you a wing T team? Are you an air raid team? Are you an I team? Are you a flex bone? You've got to have a core group of plays and an identity so that you can build off and actually package these plays up. You also have to let your quarterback make some decisions. I know that is a taboo topic to have with football coaches because we want to control everything, but you're not out there actually playing the game. You don't see it. You're from the sideline. You're not actually looking at the defense and seeing what they are presenting. So you've got to give your quarterback some amount of control to help you get out of those bad plays that you've called. And we all call them from time to time. But if we have a quarterback that can check at the line, and I'm not talking about a Peyton Manning, I'm just saying, hey, if this, then that, and give them a list of rules, you will be surprised at how well they can check out of the play you called and into a better play. And the third benefit of package plays or RPOs are you have multiple options. You can go in confidently calling one play and know you have answers to what the defense does in that one play. And if you want to see a great example of this, I did an interview about a year ago back with Coach Brent Dearman, and you can check it out right here. He goes over all the different RPOs he's doing. He actually is at a D1 school now. So check that out if you haven't already. So how can you create your own package plays or RPOs? Well, one, if you are inside zone or wide zone or some kind of zone team that you have attached wide receivers, throw a bubble screen out there or a quick screen to make the defense honest. That is the easiest way to do it. If you're a wing T team and you have some formation where you got 2 wide receivers over there, you can still do the same concept and have just a quick little dump pass to the wide receivers if you see the defense is off. That is the easiest thing you can do, and you can implement that in any offensive system that you have going right now. Another one is to do an if-then, and what I'm thinking about is let's say you call counter. You always want to run the counter to the 1 technique. Well, let's say you call it, and this time it's to the 3 technique. You can give your quarterback, and this is giving them ownership, of checking the play to the other side, and that is where the offense has the advantage. That is a simple if-then statement that your quarterback can do right away without you having to worry about, oh, crap, he's going to check to a pass play or something like that. Just give them an opposite check or an if-then inside the play run, and just attack the defense when they give you that situation that you are looking for. And then the last one is, if you are a passing team, give the quarterback the ability to tag a route. And what I'm thinking about is the corner concept. If you don't know what the corner concept is, here it is right here. But let's say you call corner and that safety is all the way on the other side of the field. Give your quarterback the ability to tag that receiver instead of running a corner to run a post. And now you have answered what the defense is doing in the game without you yourself on the sideline having to make the call. These are 3 quick things you can do to create packaged plays that you can implement into any offense right away, and I promise you that will help you score more points. So to recap, don't call plays that you don't call in practice. Get better at situational play calling and let your kids know what you're going to call based on where they're at on the field. And 3, get package plays or RPO in your offense regardless of what offensive scheme you actually run. And I promise if you do those 3 things, you're going to score more points, and if you want to score even more points, then check this video out right here.